Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So how we adopted Niko. We watched. Do you remember the name of the movie we watched? We watched a movie that had a greyhound in it, and we decided we wanted one. So we looked online for local greyhound organizations, and we found a couple in Louisville and one in Lexington. And so we decided to go to one of the meet and greets at the one in Lexington. The meet and greet at the one in Lexington was at a farmer's market. The Greyhound group is called GPA Lexington. Was set up at the farmer's market, and we went up and met the dogs that they had available for adoption. And they didn't really have one that was suited to us. They had a couple there. One was already adopted, I believe, and the other wasn't good with steps. And so we needed one that was good with steps. So we filled out the paperwork for the adoption, and in hopes that they would be acquiring some more greyhounds from the tracks. They get greyhounds from tracks in Florida and West Virginia. So we filled out the paperwork for the adoption process, and they asked standard questions about how many people you have in the house and things of that nature, and also about if you have a fenced-in yard, it's good to have a fenced-in yard for them to run around in a little bit. And they also want to make sure that you know a little bit about the greyhounds. That they wanted you to. There was a specific book they wanted you to read, and I think it was Greyhounds for Dummies. And so we filled out the checklist. And part of the adoption process is they will visit you. They actually will come to your house and visit your house to just kind of check things out to make sure it's suited for greyhounds. And they bring a dog with them. And so we did that, and they came with one of the greyhounds, and everything was just fine. They took the dog that they had. It was one of their own pets. They took it upstairs and checked out our house. Everything checked out okay. We didn't initially have a fenced-in yard, but once we found a greyhound, we did fence in part of the yard for it to run around. So they came and visited the house, and everything checked out okay. And we waited a few weeks, and they had a couple of dogs that were returned. A lady that she had lost her job and couldn't keep her dogs anymore, and so she returned them to the Greyhound group there in Lexington. So they called and told us they had one available. And we looked at pictures of him online, and he looked really nice, suitable to the family. And so we met the lady that was fostering him, and we met with her at her house, and also the president of the organization. We filled out some more paperwork. They give you the pedigree papers for the dog, and it costs a little bit of money, and that's just to cover their costs for spay or neutering or vet bills that they have. So we paid the check and brought Niko home, and everything has worked out great since then.